Welcome everyone to Gayle Jann Yoga. My name is Gayle, and today we're going to be going through a flow to help create more balance. And balance is about balancing the breath, balancing our thoughts, balancing our actions. So start in child's pose. Breathe into the back ribs so you literally feel your back moving up and down. On your next inhale with your back rounded, let your whole body rise up. And on your exhale, settle back to your child's pose. So inhale, rounding up and forward. Exhale, lowering back, child's pose. Inhale, round up, push the floor away, really spread between the shoulders. And exhale, slide back to your hips. And your next inhale, come up into tabletop. And this time, keep the arch in your back as you glide back to your child's pose. So inhale, chest, heart forward. Exhale, keep that arch in your back as long as you can, sliding back into your child's pose. Inhale. So it's like we're holding cow here, sliding back and forth. Before we were holding cat. This time, inhale forward with cat and exhale back with cow. Inhale, lift up through your back. Exhale, glide back, child's pose. Nice and easy, breath leading the way. Inhale, round up. Exhale, arch and glide back. Inhale, round up again. This time, tuck your toes, lift your hips way up in the air, downward facing dog. Begin to gently bend both knees forward and press the heels back. And then inhale, round forward to plank. Again here, we're trying to keep more of a cat pose. Rounding forward till the shoulders come over the wrists, keeping the back nice and round. And then we'll try and hold cow pose coming forward, so an arched spine. So just like we did on our hands and knees, this time we're on our hands and feet. And then we'll use both. So inhale forward with cat pose, rounded back, exhale back with cow pose, arching back. So you get this nice flow in the spine. Really trying to feel as much movement in your spine as possible. And settle back into your down dog, maybe wiggle your hips, whatever feels comfortable for you. Listening to your body. And come up high on your tiptoes and keeping your hips high, walk your feet forward. Lower your heels down. Cross your right ankle behind your left ankle and walk your hands over to the right as you pull your hips back behind you, your left hips back behind you, and then walk back through center and over to the left. Again, try and pull your hips back, those right hips back. Just kind of gently sway back and forth, back over to the right. And this time we're going to twirl around on our feet. So come up on your tiptoes, keep walking your hands around, adjust your feet a little bit until you have the right foot in front. And again, walk your hands from side to side. Nice and slowly uncross your legs, bring the right leg up in the air for standing splits. And reach up through your leg and lower your leg back down. Inhale the left leg up. So really reaching the inner thigh up, not going up for the highest split, but more like an L split. And bow over your legs. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bow. So inhale, puff up into the back, rounding. Come up halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale, softly bend the knees. Bow over your legs. One more time. Inhale, round forward. Exhale, soften and bow, bending the elbows. And inhale, rise all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, rise up. Arms over your head. Exhale, from your waist, bow. Fingertips touch the earth. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back to plank. And just do a little cat-cow in plank. So you're not really moving very much, but just trying to get as much cat-cow in as you can. Come back into your plank, stretch your heart forward, heels back, keep the belly lifted and firm. And start to push off your toes, gliding forward and back. So it's not up and down, it's gliding forward and back, and then lower through chaturanga. Hips to the floor, curl up through your back, coming into a nice open cobra. Take a breath here and exhale, lower down. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, send your heart forward for cobra, shoulders back. Exhale, softly lower to the floor. Inhale, puff up into your back first, and then curl your heart open, chest toward the sky. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, curl up. Try and use your back muscles as much as possible and your arms as little as possible. So you really feel the back working, legs working, top of feet pressing into the floor, and lift back, shift back, downward facing dog. Keep the low belly lifted, hands pressing down and forward, fingers spreading wide, triceps rotating back. Inhale the right leg up. Come up onto your left tiptoes. Exhale, round your spine, touch your knee to your right arm as high as you can. And then stretch back again, three-legged down dog. Come up high on the left toes. Exhale, hug that knee in as tightly as you can to your chest. Keep it high, high, high. Touch your arm. Inhale, stretch back. Three-legged down dog. Come up on those left toes. Exhale, hug in. Really using those deep core muscles. And step your foot forward between your hands. Gauge the legs. Reach your chest forward, arms back. And then inhale. Arc your heart open to the sky. Reaching your chest up. Arms will go back as your chest lifts. Press into those legs. Keep the legs strong. Hug the midline. And just keep reaching your chest for the sky. On your exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Step back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, the left leg comes up. Come up high on your right tiptoes. Exhale, hug the left knee in as tightly as you can. Keeping the foot high, touch your left arm. Inhale, stretch back, downward, three-legged down dog. Exhale, hug in. Keep that knee as high as you can. Really work it hard. Work those deep core muscles. Last time, switch back to your three-legged down dog. And then exhale, pull your knee in. Keep your knee so high that you can lightly step your foot forward between your hands. Inhale, reach the chest forward, arms back. Keep reaching up as you bring your arms up. And then use your inhale and exhale to start to settle your body in, bending the back knee a little bit and lifting your heart a little bit higher with each inhale. You can pulse in and out of this back bend in your crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet in a little bit, bend the knees, get ready to hop forward. So big spring, hop the feet forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, soften, bow. Inhale, rise all the way up, stretch your fingertips toward the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, cross your arms, eagle arms. Bow, and then open up cactus arms. So eagle-eyes your arms, bow in. And exhale, open the arms, cactus. And go back and forth. You can switch the arms, which one is in front. Make a big sweeping circle with your arms, bow over the legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Nice long flat back. Exhale, step back. Plank pose. Stretch forward, lower down, chaturanga. Lower the hips. Inhale, curl up, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Nice long spine. Remember, bend the knees, keep the back long. Once your hamstrings are open enough, you can start to straighten your legs, but keep the knees bent. Then swivel both heels to the right and bend your knees and more or less straighten the legs and go back and forth a couple times. And then shift over, heels to the left, bend the knees. So the hips lower when the knees bend and they lift when the legs more or less straighten. So don't worry about getting perfectly straight legs. Keep a soft bend, but bend deeply. And then almost as straight legs. We'll roll back, heels to the right. This time, eagle eyes your left leg around your right leg. So bring the left leg under. If you can wrap the toes, wrap them. And again, that same bending of the knees and releasing. And then begin to reach your left arm up over your ear. Lift your hips as high as you can. Unwrap your left leg. Bring your knee to the sky. Left knee to the sky, left elbow to the sky, and then just lightly step your left foot behind you, opening up into Wild Thing. Just lifting high, pressing down through that right foot, and come all the way back through your down dog. Heels over to the left, same thing. Bend the knees, bend and straighten, lift and lengthen. Wrap your right leg underneath eagle eyes your legs, and start to lift your right arm up over your ear, lifting the hips high, feeling a big stretch on that right side. Then unwrap your leg, bringing your right knee to the sky, right elbow to the sky. Gently step your right foot behind you, opening up your heart, Wild Thing. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. Bend the knees, come back through down dog. Take a few breaths here just to settle into your down dog. Find that length in your spine. Come up high into your tiptoes. Bend the knees. And then big hop forward to the hands. Inhale, lift to lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow over the legs. Inhale, lift along, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Step your right leg back to a lunge. Lower your right knee to the floor. Grab your blocks, one for each side, so one under each hand, and start to stretch your left knee forward and alternate with stretching your hips back and bowing over the front leg. And go at your own pace, listening to your breath, finding that balance between opening up the front of the back leg and then opening up the back of the front leg. And then we'll do the same thing, but doing those same eagle arms and cactus arms that we did standing a few moments ago. So eagle eyes your arms as you stretch back, and cactus the arms, chest forward as you bring your knee forward. And just go back and forth a few more times. You can always keep your hands on the blocks, but this will require a little more core balance to keep you nice and steady. And then we're going to switch sides. So you can jump switch, or you can step forward and back. And same thing, you can start using the blocks, stretching your right knee forward, and then your right hip back, alternating the stretch. And then for balance, you can cactus your arms as your knee is forward, eagle eyes arms as you reach back. And just go back and forth, nice steady motion. Opening up the heart and then stretching out through the back of the shoulders when you're in the eagle arms. Then you can move your blocks out of the way, step back, downward facing dog. Roll around on the hips, do any kind of movements that are going to feel good to you in your down dog, so that you find your down dog that feels super balanced, super good to you on this particular day. So let your intuition be your guide. And come up onto your tiptoes, walk your feet forward, lower the heels down, sink your hips, and come into a squat. So if you can keep your feet together, keep them together. Lower your hips all the way to the floor. And then we're going to come into Gomukhasana legs. So if you can, stack your left knee on top of your right knee And if that isn't accessible to you, you can straighten out your right leg. So your heels can be in by your hips or they can be out by your sides. Try and anchor down through both hips, then eagle eyes your arms. So wrap your left arm underneath your right. And this time we're going to keep our arms in eagle as we do a little cat-cow over the legs. So as you exhale, you pull the elbows in, rounding your spine. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Move slowly with your breath, in and out, rounding and lifting. And then see if you can start to bring your elbows more forward, maybe to your knees, maybe past your knees, and stay in a forward fold over your legs. You can always come out early, but if you can stay here comfortably, stay here. And then inhale back up. Unravel your arms. Bring your hands behind you. Lift up on your fingertips. Lift your chest toward the sky. And then twist to your right. Twist to the left. Place your right hand on the ground. Reach your left arm over and across. Place your left arm down. Reach the right arm up and across. Come back to center. And we're going to do this fun thing where you place your hands on the ground. And pivot on your feet, walking your hands all the way around in a circle, lowering the left knee down, right knee stacks on top. Again, you can straighten that bottom leg. You can adjust your heels closer or further away from your hips. Then eagle eyes the arms with the right arm underneath, left arm on top. Inhale lifts you up. Exhale draws you down and in. And just nice and easy for a couple of times, and then start to see if you can start stretching your elbows a little bit more forward. So you come into a little bit more of a forward fold, maybe to your knees, maybe even past your knees, and stay in your forward fold. So find a place that you can relax in. If you go too far at first, you can always adjust back a little bit further, meaning bring your elbows back a little closer towards your ribs. Breathe into your back. Soften where you can. Try and find the balance of the effort of the actions and the surrendering of the body, surrendering of the breath. Inhale back up. Release the arms. Bring your arms behind you, up on the fingertips. Lift your chest toward the sky. And then twist over to your left. Inhale to center, exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to center, reach your right arm over your right ear. And right hand to the floor, stretch your left arm up and across. Really opening up that left side body. And come back to center and pivot yourself around into a wide-legged forward fold. Begin to bend one knee at a time, stretching the opposite inner thigh. So left knee bends, right leg straightens, right knee bends, left leg straightens. Back and forth with the breath at your own pace. And then walk your hands back to the front. Lower your hips, come into Utkatasana, chair pose. Then rise all the way up. Arms to the sky. Inhale, lower down, fingertips graze the floor, Utkatasana. Straighten the legs, reach the arms behind, forward and up. And start to bring your weight into your left leg, bring your right leg around, wrapping into eagle arms, wrapping the right arm underneath the left. And see if you can begin to sink in to your eagle. So you may, like I just did, you may fall out of the pose, that's okay. Just wrap your legs again. Get into as tight a ball as you can, coming down, down, down. And start to lift up, unravel your legs, unravel your arms out to the side, and come back to Tadasana. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So come into Utkatasana, lift the left leg, wrap it around the right, keeping the knees bent, wrap the left arm underneath the right arm, and start to lower down. Coming into the eagle's nest. So think of hunkering down into a little nest, getting nice and tight. And then as you start to release Reach out through the arms, stretch out through your leg, and come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take a moment, take a few breaths here. And your inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bow over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift to lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow. Step your left leg back for a crescent lunge. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. And shift into your front leg, bring the left leg up into like an L shape. And stretch back to your lunge. Bring your shoulders over the hips. Inhale, reach forward, bring that left leg, left knee up, toes point toward the ground, eagle-eyes the arms. Exhale, unwrap the arms, step it back. Inhale, press forward, eagle-eyes the arms, wrap the legs, release the arms, step all the way back into your lunge. And reach all the way forward, last one. Eagle-eyes the legs and the arms. Unwrap, step back. Bring your leg up and then stretch all the way back into Warrior Three, keeping your arms in eagle. And bend the left knee, bring it forward, wrap around, eagle-eyes the legs, and stretch back, Warrior Three. Arms stay in eagle. Bend both knees, bring your leg over and across. Arms stay in eagle, unwrap, stretch back, Virabhadrasana 3. Last time, bend the knees, wrap the legs, release the arms, step all the way back, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find your balance in down dog with your breath, a nice long spine. And then bring your right leg up, reach it behind you. Three-legged down dog, stacking the hips and paralleling the hips. And begin to draw circles with that right knee. Just kind of releasing all the muscular tension that we were using to find that the last balance, all those eagles, all those eagle poses. Then bend your knees, hop or step forward. Inhale, lift up, flat back. Exhale, step your right leg back, crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up. Keep the legs strong, keep the belly drawing in and up. And reach forward, lift your right knee forward. Toes point toward the ground. Eagle-eyes the arms. Unwrap and step back, crescent lunge. Exhale, press forward, lift the right knee up, eagle-eyes your arms, right arm underneath the left. Unwrap and stretch back to your lunge. Press into your legs, wrap the arms. This time, wrap your right leg on top of the left, eagle-eyes the legs. And reach back, crescent lunge. So we're going to keep repeating this. It's important to stay steady with the breath. Keep the deep core muscles engaged. Try and stay balanced with your actions, moving nice and slow. The thing that I love about Eagle is that wrapping of the arms and legs keeps you hugging the midline. So now we're going to add the Warrior Three. So come into your Eagle and then keep the arms wrapped. Unwrap your right leg, stretch your leg back. Warrior Three, Virabhadrasana 3 with eagle arms. Bend both knees, wrap your right leg around, eagle-eyes the legs. The arms are staying in eagle, and then stretch back, Warrior Three. Unwrap the arms, step all the way back, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. So we'll kind of loosen up the hips again. So just sway your hips around, bend the knees, get really liquidy with your body, moving any way you want to move. Maybe a little cat-cow flow. And walk your feet in, pivot around to face the front, and come into a squat. Just take a few breaths here in your squat, trying to bring the shoulders over the hips, but Really just rocking around, feeling your balance, feeling the hips opening in your squat. And lower your hips all the way to the floor. And come down onto your backs. Probably feels good right about now. Hug your knees into your chest and just gently rock around both directions. Give yourself a little squeeze and cross your right ankle above your left knee for eye of the needle. And release your fingers behind your left thigh. So the right arm is in between the legs, fingers interlaced. And you can use your hands to pull the left leg in a little closer to your chest, intensifying the hip opening on your right hip. Be sure to keep your shoulders down and your hips down. So your whole back, you want your whole back to be flat on the floor. And a little pulsing in and out. Finding the balance between maybe a deeper stretch and a softer stretch. Release your hands, open your arms out to the side and twist, bringing your right foot over to the left, keeping that right knee high. So your knees stay apart. So even though we're in a twist, it's not knees together twist. It's knees apart twist. If you want, you could use your left hand as a little prop to rest your right thigh on your left hand. If you want a more relaxing yin-like pose here. And then come back up. Eagle-eyes your legs, so wrap the right leg all the way around and come back to a twist. So this will be a deeper twist, and if this is too much for your back, you can always unwrap your legs. If this feels good here, stay here and focus on relaxing the shoulders, just relaxing and letting go. Finding that softness. Tuning into your breath as always. Letting yourself rest. And begin to unwrap. So now your right leg is on top. Your knees are stacked instead of eagle legs. It's a little bit of an easier twist, and just notice how it feels. Maybe it feels really delicious right about now. And hug your knees into your chest. Bring your hips to the floor, coming back to center. Lift and shift your hips back to center. Cross your left ankle above your right knee. Left hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers on the back of the right thigh. Eye of the needle. Again, you can pull that right leg in a little bit to deepen the hip opener and release. So we never want to hold a pose at its extreme for too long, because the body knows that when we're at our edge, it's not a place that we want to stay very long. It's a place to visit and retreat from. And release your arms, twist your left leg across to the right. Same thing, keep the knees apart so the left knee stays lifted. And if you want maybe a more yin-like, gentle, relaxed stretch, just support your left thigh with your right hand. If you want to do a more active stretch here, that's fine as well. Come back to center. Eagle eyes your legs, twisting over to the right. You can adjust your shoulders a little bit so your back lies flat on the floor. Again, here the idea is to relax with your breath. Letting go of tension, letting go of all the effort that we use to do those flows in and out of eagle. It's very challenging for me still, and something that I don't really practice all that much, but it's a great practice to really teach yourself the value of hugging the midline when everything is wrapped. Your arms and legs are wrapped in the eagle poses. And now you can uncross your legs, stacking your left knee on top of the right. A little more of a gentler twist here. And let yourself relax so your knees are to the right, your head is to the left. And bring your knees back up to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Circle the knees around. And rock on up so that you can grab your blocks. making sure you have one block handy. We're going to come up into bridge pose. So bring your heels close to your hips and lift your hips toward the sky. Walk your shoulders in towards each other. Press into your feet. And if you want, if it's available to you, you could take your hands right underneath your hips. So you're kind of supporting your hips with your hands. It's a really comfortable position. Gets you up pretty high, but you also have your arms and your hands to help you stay up in your bridge. Now we'll do a supported bridge. So bring the block underneath your sacrum, any height. For a nice relaxing stretch, the second height of your block is pretty nice here. And then stretch out your legs. Just stretch out the front of the quads and the hip flexors. If it feels like there is a little bit too much strain on your back, you can lift your, bring your feet in, lift your hips up, stretch your tailbone towards your heels, and keep that length lower back under the block. So you want to find a position that's comfortable on your low back. And if that means doing a little bit of adjusting, do that. Now if you want to take that hip flexor stretch on the left leg a little bit deeper, you can hug your right knee into your chest. Stretch out through the left leg. Release your right leg. Hug the left knee in. Stretch out through the right leg. So left knee comes in toward the chest, right leg stretches out long, long, long through those toes. You can hold here for a couple of breaths. And release your knee. Stretch out the legs again, straight legs. Maybe rock out through the toes. And bend the knees. Bring your knees up over your hips, your feet up over your hips, and find that balance where it feels like your legs are levitating. Again, I needed to rearrange the block a little bit, to move it just a little bit. So take the time to make those little adjustments if you need to. And then you can begin to point and flex your feet if you like, nice and slowly. Maybe stretch the toes, spread them apart. Just play around with your toes, making almost like a fist with your toes. And then pointing and flexing. But just make it your own. You can circle the ankles together or in separate directions. So just have fun here. We always want to have fun in yoga. So we take it seriously, we explore edges, we go deep inside, but we also want to keep a playful attitude, a beginner's mind. So you can begin to move your legs in bigger movements. Your choice, whatever you want to do. It ends up being a little bit different for me each time I do this. Bend your knees, you can bend and straighten. One at a time, both at the same time. Again, just kind of making it up as you go along. And come back to hovering the feet over the legs, just for a breath or two. And when you're ready, lower your feet to the floor, move the block out of the way, and lower the hips slowly down, all the way down. And open your arms out to the side. So begin to just gently windshield wiper your knees from side to side. So you want your feet wide apart from each other, as wide as the mat. And every time you stretch your knees over to one side, just reach out through that top knee, getting a little more stretch in the quads. Moving slowly side to side. Taking time to really stretch that top leg. Feeling like you're in slow motion. And hug your knees into your chest. Come into your happy baby. So in happy baby, you can hold your feet, you can hold your ankles, you can hold your calves, you can even stay holding the back of your thighs. So wherever you need to be, so you can keep your hips and shoulders on the floor. You could hold your heels with your hands on the inside. You could hold the outside of your feet with the hands on the outside of your feet. And then hug your knees in, maybe lift up through your shoulders, hug into a tight little ball. And stretch the arms and legs out for Savasana. Again, make those little adjustments, maybe lift the shoulders, lengthen the ribs from the mid-back up through the shoulders. And notice your front ribs, you want them relaxing down, not popping up. So the back of the ribs is on the floor, maybe a slight little gap on the low back. But for the most part, we want the ribs to be soft, the back to be long and expansive. And you can stay here as long as you want. I recommend staying for at least 5 minutes. Just every once in a while coming back to your breath. Feeling that sense of relaxation deepening with each breath. That ability to let go and surrender. Feeling the wave of softness in your body. So stay here as long as you like. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you have any questions, please ask below. And please let me know any requests that you might have.